Hey everybody. Sorry it's been a minute. I got sick. Life, businesses, but a question, by the way, you're at Beauty Biz with Hill. Some people have asked like my experience and stuff. I'm 17 years in the beauty business. I own 2 salons and run education programs licensed by my state I live in and teach nationally. So, I have decided to share more on here about different things you can do to run your business. Now, this one's a little more geared toward people who are running their own beauty business. They're not like an employee that gets like in the US as a W-2, like taxes aren't pulled, things like that. This is like for somebody who W-2 taxes are pulled, sorry. This is for somebody who's like running your own beauty business. I get a question of like what forms of payment, like how can I collect payment, and some tips with that. So first thing that's really obvious is you just need to establish some policies like I don't take checks, or I do take checks. I take cash, I don't take cash. If you do take cash, you need to account for having change available. Another one is cards. That's a big question, is should I accept credit cards? I will tell you in my experience, I didn't accept credit cards for a while, and it was kind of out of convenience for myself, but there was a point of growth where I realized it would be really convenient for clients to accept credit cards. And so I did bring them on. Another thing is like Venmo, PayPal, the Cash App, like if you're going to accept those. So I have accepted all of them. So let's just kind of talk about the different ways those play into your business. So cash is one that is a huge debate in the beauty industry if you should record it or not. I'm going to tell you, record your cash. I record my cash. There will come a point, yes, you're going to have to pay taxes on it, all that stuff, but there comes a point where we almost hurt our beauty industry by not showing the kind of income we are making, that this is a career, this is a business. The other thing is, like, if you go to want to like buy a home, a car or something, you need to be able to show the income to support that. And we have a lot of write-offs if you're running a business, because it costs product, rent, utilities, licenses, business licenses, all of that. So you need to be able to show income, and you can actually hurt yourself if you are wanting to get a loan for something, because you won't show that income in your taxes, and that can hurt you. So something to think about. When it comes to checks, checks are going to be treated the same as cash in the sense of recording and things like that, but it should show as a deposit. Where checks get tricky is if they bounce. And I will tell you, I have dealt with that in the past. So another thing you need to decide is a policy. If you have a bounce check, what fees are you going to be charged by your bank, and what do you want to charge as kind of, I would charge a fee to not penalize, but in a way, because this is going to take extra energy and extra effort to get the money. So if you accept checks and it bounces, we're all human. That happens all the time. I think all of us have been standing there and swipe our card and it declines because you didn't transfer money, or something didn't deposit that you thought it did, or I mean, that happens to all of us. But with a check, that's kind of the same thing. So just be human and communicate to your client like, hey, this didn't clear. At that point, my advice would be not to accept another check. Say, hey, this didn't clear. I'm going to need you to bring in, say the service was $50. Bring in $50 cash today for it. And in addition to that, to cover the fees, I do have a bounce check policy, and it's $20. So $70 cash would be great. And then if they're funny about it or they ghost you, here's something else. Their appointments, if they have some booked in the future, should be kind of put almost on hold to see if you're going to hold those appointments. Because if you never get paid for that, you should not repeat a service with them again. I have had checks that have never been paid, and it really sucked too, because on my end, I'm a salon owner, so I paid my employee, but I never got paid for the product, the space, the utilities, everything that goes into the percentage I keep, the insurance I have to pay. I pay half my employees' taxes, so I paid out about half that service and never received it. So that really is a bummer. So in general, we don't usually accept checks. At this point in our world, I feel like usually checks are kind of our cute little older clients, and they're usually good for it. So that's kind of that transition that's happened. Okay, now credit cards. You need to check your merchant. You need to check how much they're going to charge you for each swipe, is the best way to think of it. Usually it'll come down as a percentage, or it might be like 20 cents plus a percentage per swipe. These are going to factor in as expenses on your business. So yes, you might not make the full $40 or $50, but it'll be an expense. What I have noticed, so weigh that out for what's best for your business. Check with different merchants, check with different programs. I personally use Square. I'll put my link to Square below. That gives you $1,000 of processing for free, and me $1,000 of processing for free, which is cool, but feel zero pressure. There's other merchants that'll save you money, depending on your area and all of that. So weigh it out and see what it is. What I did see when I added credit cards on is you can give the option for tips. You can even do a like smart tipping screen. We run them all through our phone. You can have a hub at like the front of the salon that everybody runs through. And you just choose that it goes to you. There's lots of ways you can do it. Make sure it's going to you. Make sure you're getting paid. But tips actually really increased. And I think I've seen this across the board in the beauty industry, is it moved from like, here's $5 or here's $3 to an actual percentage. People are paying 20% tip on their services, which is wonderful, which is what other tipping industries get as well. And are super appreciated. So something to consider if you're hesitant on using a credit card machine or a merchant or a credit card system on your phone like Square or something. I mean, even my booking system, they just offered me, they started doing credit cards. So I will go and weigh it out and see which one costs me less. But tipping did increase, which is rad. So the last thing to consider though with tippings increasing is they are recording. So you will be taxed on your tips, which it will show as income, which is good. This is something we're resistant to because we don't want to pay more taxes, or you're just used to it being cash tips or something like that. It's all good. This is part of going from like hobby to job to career. Okay. These are expenses that are normal to accrue. That's credit cards. Let's talk about accepting payments through apps. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. I think there's some other ones. Check with your CPA for taxes in the US or wherever you're at in the world, wherever you've got to account for income and pay. Our CPA personally hates Venmo because it records weird in the bank account. That has been across the board with multiple CPAs I've noticed. So check with them. I don't accept Venmo for my salon. If somebody forgets their credit card, I have a personal one they could send to, and then I have to make sure it gets put in and all of that, and it's kind of a pain. PayPal, Cash App, just know that if you reach a certain amount, usually there's a limit per week of how much you can receive and give, and so look into that. And are they going to make you like 1099s if you're in the US for taxes? Are they going to record your income? There's a certain level with PayPal. They won't make you one until you reach. Or Venmo is owned by PayPal, I'm pretty sure. But you need to record things or like link it to a bank account. Like, these are things you need to look up at and talk with your accountant with. If they're like, it's all great, it'll record, I've got it, or maybe you have a bookkeeper, that's even better. I didn't get a bookkeeper until this year, and that has been wonderful for me. But if you're just running your own individual business, you won't necessarily need to. You can do your own bookkeeping for sure. I could do my own. It's just getting bigger, and I would rather spend my energy somewhere else. So that is not a required thing. But I wish somebody would have said to me, hey, a bookkeeper is an option to help your taxes be more steady and understand your income and your profit and your loss and expenses and all of that. I wish somebody had said, hey, it's an option. And hey, you can do your own taxes, but if you're running your own business, it might be helpful to get a CPA you really trust. An accountant, that's what a CPA is. So I hope this was helpful. Gosh, I've talked for 10 minutes about accepting payments, but truly this is stuff people don't talk about very much, and that's silly because this is 100. We work to make money, and you need to know what your money's doing so it can work for you. Hey, I hope you have a great day. Will you share this? Will you subscribe it? Will you tell me below if this was helpful? I know this is more specific, but it's because I freaking want you to be successful, and I know it's valuable information, and it's information I wish I was given when I was starting out my beauty business. So thanks for being here. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.